Today, I can't help but to talk about the Delonghi Magnifica Plus. Now, the Magnifica EVO model has been a great seller for Delonghi, one of their most popular models, and in the mid-range, I think it's probably the best. But the Magnifica Plus goes one step further and offers an additional feature which I think is amazing. So what do I like about this machine? First of all, I like the Magnifica look. I think it looks really pretty neat. The display is shaped here kind of like a Toro. The Magnifica Plus does come with a new fancy touch screen. It comes with different profiles that you can select in between. And it's also separated between milk-based drinks and coffee-based drinks. So it's nice and organized. But really, besides that new kind of fanciness, the best thing about this machine and what makes it better than not only the older Magnifica EVO, but also for me, the Latte Explore or the Dinamica Plus, is that this will actually grind even longer. So this will grind for me up to 10 seconds for an espresso, or up to 12 seconds for a Doppio Plus, or for a 2x espresso. What does that mean? That means that you get more coffee in your puck. This grinder inside is a stainless steel grinder, grinding at about 1.5 grams per second. So if you are grinding for 10 to 12 seconds, you're actually getting anywhere between a 15 and even up to 18 gram puck. I mean, these pucks are redonkulous. This one right here, I've been drying out for a couple of days. You can just see how nice and compact that it is. Excellent puck. 18 grams right there. So that's the maximum you can get out of this machine in my findings so far. And that puts this machine above the rest that I've tried. Alright, so I thought it would be appropriate to also do some dry weight tests just to really make sure and see how much of a dose we're getting per puck. And that is dependent also on the grind. So I'm going to try it at the fine end of the grind on the 3.5 setting, as well as open bore all the way up at 7.5 and see what difference we get. So what I'm going to do is press the Doppio Plus button. I'm going to let it grind until it finishes, and then I'm going to switch the machine off at the source, then turn it back on. It will be ejected then without adding any water or anything else. So what do we see when pulling out the grounds tray? We get about 14.6, so it's actually closer to a 15 gram dose on the espresso setting. Now when we look at full bore, 7.5 grind setting, we actually do get a result of 17.4 grams. So this machine can do a dry weight of up to 17.4, but that's at full bore. So in the end, this machine can do a range anywhere between 14 point something up to 17 point something in these trials with these beans at the maximum dose setting. If you're using medium roast beans or light roast beans, you will get actually even more weight. So we're going to get to the drinks in just a moment here, but first I want to kind of give you a view of the machine from all sides. And so what we're going to do is just show you the side with the water tank, and we're going to open it up right away so you can see what it looks like inside. That is the brew group. It is currently engaged. I cannot take it off until I turn off the machine. But this is what the side of the machine looks like. Pretty big water tank with a water filter installed that came with the machine. This is the back of the machine. And here is the other side of the machine. We got some ventilation slits in here, which is important. The top of the machine is plastic. It's got a plastic cover for the bean hopper, and it's got 14 adjustments for your grind setting. I'm currently on 3 or 3.5, and as I mentioned, it's got stainless steel conical burrs. All right, let's get started with making an espresso. I've got the intensity set on 5, which is going to grind for 10 seconds. Let's give it a shot. Alrighty, so it stops right there at 27 grams, and that's what my espresso looks like. That looks pretty good. Let's give that a stir. It's a good espresso. I'm using some darker roast beans here from Lavazza. And with these beans, you can see the machine is capable of making a nice espresso, good crema on top. Considering it's a dark bean, I'm getting mostly chocolatey notes out of it, but it's a pretty well balanced shot. It's not bitter, it's definitely not sour, and it's got the aftertaste of bittersweet chocolate. Now, if you'd like an even stronger shot than that, you can go for the Doppio Plus, which is going to grind longer. So let's give that a shot. Just gonna stop mine right there at about 40 grams so my cup doesn't overflow. And there you go. Look at that coffee right there. That looks pretty amazing. So yes, this machine with the Doppio Plus, very nice. Let's just give that a little stir here. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now that is what I'm looking for in a shot of espresso. That is very intense, full flavored, chocolate notes at the front, a little bit of sweetness at the back, pleasant aftertaste, and smooth, balanced. That is a very nice espresso. So I am really happy to report that the Magnifica Plus does awesome with the Doppio Plus. So the way I really like to start off my mornings is with a coffee crema. So I'm gonna have mine set up with an intensity of 4 and a size small. Here we go. Alrighty. So here we got 135 grams out, and that is a delightful looking coffee crema. And the taste? Well, very hot, quite smooth, no bitterness to speak of. Just a good cup of coffee with some nice crema on top for a bit of texture. Very nice. Now let's go ahead and move on to some milk-based drinks. What I want to do is make a latte macchiato. So I'm going to remove this water spout here and put on the milk carafe. I've got the milk carafe set at about 3/4. Got it set up for an intensity of 5. Here we go. Alrighty. One of the things that I really like about the Delonghis is the fact that it makes nice milk foam. At about a 3/4 setting, the texture is just right for me, and you can adjust it a little bit to make it a little bit more milky or a little stiffer. And if we just have a look here, the foam, it's pretty nice and silky, actually. That is pretty good stuff right there. And how is the taste? Very nice drink. This is pretty much what I'm used to from Delonghi. Nice milk texture. It's got a little bit of sweetness in the milk it's able to bring out. And that's a delightful drink. Also, the espresso shot is intense enough to really add a good amount of flavor to the drink. So, good latte macchiato. And the machine also tells us that we now need to clean out the milk wrap. So, what we're gonna do is follow the instruction and just move this little switch here over to the clean. Okay, now it's telling us we should put this in the fridge, and I would recommend cleaning out this milk wrap at least weekly. Give it a nice deep clean to keep it in good condition. Alrighty, so the Magnifica Plus has options actually for an iced coffee and an iced Americano. But that doesn't mean that it's actually extracting a cold coffee. What it's doing is just compensating for the volume of the ice in the cup. It's still actually a hot liquid coming out. So I just wanted to show you guys that here, what it looks like when I press on cold or iced coffee. Yeah, so it's actually extracting into 80-90 degrees Celsius. So that's a normal extraction. It's just putting it on top of the ice. Okay. So for that reason, you cannot say that the machine is capable of making cold drinks. It just suggests that you can put the coffee on top of ice. And once you do that, then you get down to 6 degrees or so Celsius. So the ice makes it cold, but the machine doesn't extract cold. Now this machine has got a whole host of drinks available. If you click on coffee, it's going to show you all the coffee drinks. You got espresso, you've got Doppio plus coffee, you got 2 times espresso, Americano, a long, you've got an iced coffee as well, and an iced Americano. If we take a look on the milk side, you got Latte Macchiato, Cafe Latte, Cappuccino, Flat White, Espresso Macchiato, Cappuccino Mix, Cortado, Cappuccino, and what a lot of people are curious about is hot milk. So you can use this just to make a hot milk for making, for example, a hot chocolate. So that's very nice. And as I mentioned, you can switch between profiles. Green for me, blue for another family member, for example, and you can do up to 4 profiles. So that's pretty nice. So as a disclaimer, I would like to say that I bought this machine. I am interested enough in the Delonghi Superautomatics, and I know that there is a big audience out there for them. Most people just want to be able to press a button and get on with their busy day. Come back, grab their drink, and they're good to go. And this machine is really excellent, especially for the money. So as a conclusion, this machine, for me, is so far the best Delonghi that I have tested, and actually the best of any brand that I've tested, Superautomatic, espresso, and coffee milk froth making machine. It makes the biggest pucks, which is excellent. It makes nice milk texture, which I'm used to from Delonghi. And it's got what I think is a very stately display, a very stately build. I like just how it looks. It's kind of curved up, it's tapered at the top. It's got this kind of Toro shape here for the front panel. And in general, I just like the build. I really can't recommend this one highly enough, and I'm glad I bought it, despite the fact that I already have a whole bunch of coffee machines. If I had to choose only one Superautomatic coffee machine, this would for sure be my choice. All right, guys, I hope this video is helpful for you. And if so, give it a like. If you thought it was terrible, give it a dislike. Whatever the case, until next time, I say happy coffee drinking and happy latte macchiato drinking. Bye now.